Hello everyone, welcome to the Preschool at CCC. This is going to be our parent meeting for the year. We're going to do this by video. We just saw that last year this made it easier for families to be able to watch on their own time instead of trying to get to the school, whether they had older kids or after work or whatever. So if you're new to us, welcome. And if you're returning this year, we're so glad to have you back. We can't wait to hear about your summer and all the fun things that you got to do as a family. I want to start off with introducing myself. My name is Denise. I am the director here, and this will be my 8th year with the preschool at CCC. I usually am in the large classroom. I say large classroom. That's classroom by size, so classroom number 1, and then with me is usually Miss Kelly as the lead teacher and Miss Nikki, and then we are also looking to hire someone, an additional set of hands in that classroom. And then in the small classroom we have Miss Lindsay. She's my lead teacher in there, and her helpers are Miss Kelsey and Miss Vidya. So if you were with us last year, you'll recognize all of the names and faces. All right, so this video is going to be probably close to an hour long, so just put in your headphones and, go about your day and just make notes of the things that you need. I will show you the parking lot diagram, but other than that, I think mostly I'm just talking, so if you need to do something else, it's totally okay. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about again is that the preschool is for children that are 3 to 5 years old. So everyone in both classes, if I say big classroom, small classroom, class 1, class 2, we are all 3 to 5. So don't worry about that. We just kind of look at the students and say, all right, this many are 5 full days. We put some in the large classroom, some in the small classroom. These kids are 4 full days. So some in classroom 1, some in classroom 2. These ones are 3 half days, some in classroom 1 and classroom 2. So that's just how we split everybody up. If you were in a classroom last year, you were in that small room classroom 2, you will stay in that classroom, and Miss Lindsay and Miss Kelsey and Miss Vidya will make sure that your student keeps moving forward from where they are. They don't really need to change classrooms. The only time we usually do that is like if we have a sibling, or if like some friends need to be split up, but I don't think we have any of that for this coming year. So whatever classroom you were in last year will be the classroom that you're in this year. Okay, so after that, I want to talk about shot record. So before the first day of school, I need a copy of your child's shot records. You are welcome to bring that to meet the teacher, or you can email them to me if you feel comfortable with that. I will print them out and go ahead and put them in their folder, and we can go from there. But you are welcome to print them out. That is very helpful to do, and then just bring them to meet the teacher on August the 16th. But I have to have them before the first day of school. I haven't had in the past where people are like, oh, I just couldn't get them, and then they're trying to give them to me on the first day of school. We just have so much going on the first day of school. I cannot be taking shot records and making sure they're in everybody's folders, and that's where they need to be in case this date comes in. They can come in any day, anytime. And so I have to have those shot records in their folder. I can't say, oh wait, they're in my pile over here, and get them for her. So please just make sure that you either email them to me ahead of time, perfectly fine, or print them and bring them the day of the meet the teacher. If we don't have them that Sunday, then you will be getting a phone call from me, probably just asking for those shot records and reminding you again that I have to have them before the first day of school. And give your pediatrician time. I would probably call them today and see if they can get you going on those shot records. Usually they can take 10 to 14 days. If you can't get them in your portal. A lot of times you can get them in the portal and it's quick, but sometimes you can't, and then it takes that 10 to 14 days. So just know that. Also new for us this year, the state's made a rule that we need to have every child's doctor's name and phone number in their emergency contact stuff. That is not, this past year was not in that yellow child information sheet. So if you will help me and send me an email with your child's name in the subject line. That you can just say John's doctor, and then just put in there Dr. Smith and the phone number, and then we will write it down on their yellow sheet for this year. And I already fixed it for next year since that is a new thing. So moving forward will be fine. Just this year, I found out about it just a couple weeks ago, so trying to get everybody caught up here. All right, so Meet the Teacher is August the 16th. It is a drop-in style. You can come in anytime between 2 and 4. You will already in that welcome email that you got, it says your child is in classroom 1 or classroom 2, big classroom, small classroom. And so you will come in, you can find their cubby. We ask that you bring a 4x6 picture of them. This you can either print at home or you can take to CVS and airdrop it to their computers and it will print off in seconds. So we need a picture. Please write their name on the back, but we'll let you leave it in their cubby, so that kind of helps us, but sometimes they just get handed to us. So if you write their name on the back, that would help us. Again, those shot records, we need the shot records. And the last thing that you will bring that day is an extra set of clothes and a gallon Ziploc bag. So you can put shorts, pants, long sleeve, short sleeve, underwear, and socks in that bag, or you can just do shorts and t-shirt at the beginning. And then once it starts getting cold, I usually will send an email saying, hey, if you want to switch out clothes, let me know. And then you can send in the winter clothes and we will send home those summer clothes. So either way is fine. Just make sure it has underwear and socks in that baggie as well. And then write their name with Sharpie on that Ziploc bag. All right. Your child needs a full-size backpack, a pocket folder, a lunchbox, and a water bottle. A lunchbox if they stay all day. If they are going home half day between that 12 and 12:30, you do not need a lunchbox. They would just need the backpack, the folder, and the water bottle. With their water bottle, you need to take tape, a Sharpie, it doesn't matter what, and I need you to write their name pretty big on that water bottle. Last year we had 6 girls that all had the same water bottle. So I need you to write their name. Your first and last name would be great, or at least last name. We mostly know the kiddos by their first names. Not all the staff knows their last names, but we can look that up and help them find their water bottles. But first name would be great for us to be able to help them find their water bottle in those first couple of days of school. But if you could help us and have that name on there all year long, that would be great. If they stay for lunch and they have a lunchbox, when you come to meet the teacher, there will be a plastic tag that you will attach to their lunchbox, and that has their name already on it. And then that tag is what we use to date their lunch every day and put it in the refrigerator. Now, remember, again, if you don't want it to go in the refrigerator, you need to write on there, no refrigeration, no fridge. If this is a daily thing, just write it in Sharpie and we will never put it in there. But let's say you make macaroni and cheese one day and they're going to have a muffin and an apple. And nothing needs to go in the refrigerator, then you can just tell it, like put a sticky note on there and say, hey, today it doesn't need to go in the refrigerator. But as long as we have that note from you, we can leave it out. Otherwise, it will go in the refrigerator. The backpack needs to be a full-size backpack. I know those little ones are so cute and I just love them. It looks like a teddy bear or a duck or whatever. But when we go to try to put their papers in at the end of the day, it doesn't hold them. And so sometimes we have to fold their art project or their, paper that they did and they spent all this time on it, and they're getting upset because we're having to fold it to get it into the backpack. So if you could just get a full-size backpack, if it fits a folder and if they stay all day, and a lunchbox, that's great. If they're just half day, just make sure it fits that folder and we're good to go. If you're not sure about like the labeling the water bottle, I will have a sample at Meet the Teacher. I usually have it here, but I'm in my husband's office and I forgot to bring it down. So I've stopped and started the video several times due to like people mowing their lawns or my dog barking. So we're going to try to get through it. Let's see. Next, I know everybody's just super excited on the very first day of school, and we always have a lineup waiting to come into school. I will open the doors at 8:55 for everyone. Remember, no before care on the first day of school. So you will come in. I will probably, as long as it's not raining, I will have the lunch carts out. So if you want to go ahead and have their lunches on the cold cart or the hot cart and the water bottle on the water bottle cart, you can do that. And then give them that hug and that kiss and just hand them off to us as quickly as possible. Now it's the first day of school. They might be crying because they miss you or whatever, but just reassure them it is okay. You're okay. Miss Denise, Miss Kelly, Miss Lindsay, Miss Kelsey, Miss Nikki, Miss Vidya, they will be taking care of you, and they will make sure mommy will come back and get you. Mommy loves you. She won't forget you. She'll be back. Or daddy or whoever's picking him up that day. And then go ahead, give them to us, and then leave. I know you just want to stay with them and comfort them as long as you can to try to get them to stop crying. But they're going to keep crying because they want you to stay with them. And that's okay. We're used to that. This is preschool. This is a lot of time where that's the first time people have been away from mommy and daddy, and it's okay and it's hard. But we try to make the first few days a lot of fun. We do cover our rules. The rules that they'll hear on the first day of school is don't leave the classroom without talking to a teacher. Quiet voice. So we're going to talk about voice levels of what does a quiet voice sound like? What does an inside voice sound like? What does an outside voice sound like? We also want to use kind hands, and we want to use walking feet. So those are the rules that we're going to be covering the first couple of weeks of school before we start getting into some of the social emotional things about how to be a good friend and those kind of things. But those first few days, it's going to be just those four things that we're covering with them. We'll go outside a little bit extra. We'll have our snack. We'll start our assessments with the students who know us already, just to kind of see where they are so we can get them going. And then we'll start assessments with our newer friends. At the end of the day, that first day of school, we are trying to get out to recess at 12 o'clock. That is always our goal, is to be at recess at 12 o'clock. But it's the first day of school. They don't know how to line up. They don't know how to get their backpacks. They don't know where we're going. So while that is our goal, to be down there at recess outside, or if it's raining in the gym, that first day of school, know that we might not be there right at 12. And so if it's 12:15 and you still haven't seen us and you're like, where are they? We are still coming. We will get there. Please don't call me or be ringing the doorbell, because it is all hands on deck those first few days of just trying to make sure everybody is where they need to be and where they're going, so that everyone who's going home has their backpack, and people who aren't going home, that their backpack has stayed in their cubby. So just give us some time and we'll make sure that we get everybody down where they need to be. And then same for the afternoon. If it's nice, we try to go outside for pickup at 2:50. So just go ahead and wait outside for us. If it's raining, then go and wait by the main front doors. But if it's nice outside that first day of school, we will probably be outside playing, and then we just call them to come to meet you at the gate. Go ahead and try to find that gate the first day at Meet the Teacher. That way you know where it is on the first day of school. If you need help, again, go ahead and find a teacher and we can show you where that is. Also, with those first few weeks of school, we are trying to learn everybody's name. Like if you're a returning family, we probably know your car, we know who you are and which child you're coming for. And so we're already calling them, and we can have them right up to that gate and ready for pickup. But if you are new with us, please be patient with us. Go ahead and say, hey, I'm here to pick up, Daniel, and we will get him to you as quickly as we can. You're welcome to make like a little sign like they do in like elementary school, like for a car pickup line, you'll see names. Like if you want to do that and come and hold that, that helps as well. We usually are pretty quick with learning who everybody is, but just be patient with us those first couple of days. Now, if someone who's picking up your child who does not normally pick up your child, then you need to send us a message in Brightwheel, and I need their name. If you can send a picture of them, that is very helpful for us, but they will need to show their driver's license in order to take your child. So if you say, Grandma Beth is coming to pick up my child, then I need, Grandma Beth's full name. And if you have a picture of Grandma Beth, that's great. But if not, then I need her full name. Grandma Beth will need to show me her driver's license before she can take your kiddo with her. All right, next is the parking lot. So the parking lot is, for whatever reason, it is always very hard for us to figure out and navigate. And I will have this drawing in your cubby for you to take at Meet the Teacher. And because it's going to be backwards right now, so sorry about that, I think. Let me see if I can get it. I don't think I can get it right. So you're kind of, because this is, I think it's this way. It's probably backwards on the map. So like the parking lot's over here. When you come into the parking lot and the school is right here, we want you to not go in this first row. I want you to go to the second row, and you can park facing the building and then exit this way. But we don't want, because there's not a lot of room here in this first row, we don't want there to be two cars. So we don't want one car trying to come and park and one car trying to leave. So we want everyone to kind of skip this first row where you'd get right into the classroom and go to the second row, and you can park facing either ways. This is where the row you'll see all the teachers are parked in. You can park next to us, you can park behind us. There's a whole third row back there. You can park in that as well. So just come into the driveway, skip this first row, go to the next row, and you can pull in. So there may be two cars, like one going in and one going out. Here you only exit out. So face the building, exit out. Don't pull in and park facing the teacher's cars. You want to pull in and park facing the building is what you want to do in that first row. So everyone's only exiting out. That helps looking for children as well in there. So I know this is backwards and kind of inverted for you guys. So please look at it. Again, ask questions at that Meet the Teacher if you're not sure. In the first few days, we'll try to catch some of families who maybe aren't doing it right and let you know, like, hey, don't park in that first row, go to the second row before you pull in. Let's see, with the parking lot, we do ask that you walk your child to the door. Don't just pull in, open your car door, and let them run out. Please walk them up to the door, holding their hand. You will see the part by the door is more like a white cement versus the parking lot pavement. Like once you get to that part, if they want to run, that's fine. Once you hit that part, if we're inside, I will let them run out to you if that's okay with you. But we want you to be, once they're in that parking lot, the black pavement, we want them holding your hand and walking with you. They are shorter. It's hard for parents to see sometimes. So just for safety, please hold your child's hand coming up to the door. Everybody got a email. In the email, the welcome email, it has the important dates paper. So it is a couple pages. I will print this and it will be in your child's cubby just so you have a hard copy as well. So a couple of dates that you want to be aware of right off the bat is Meet the Teacher, that August 16th from 2 to 4, shot records, extra set of clothes, and your 4x6 picture. The next thing is Picture Day on October 7th. So you can dress up. Usually it's like a folly background. I will figure out what that is. And usually I try to send a picture in Brightwheel so you know, but Picture Day is October 7th. And then our field trip that is off-site is October the 29th. This is where you have to take and drive your child to Russell Farm. You will stay with them for the whole field trip. and then we will come back. If you're a full day student, you will come back and drop your child off at school and they can stay the remainder of the day. If you are half day, then that's just your day and you can take your child home from the field trip. So I will have usually about 3 of these dates in the newsletter, and as they get closer, I just kind of cycle out the old one and put in the next one. So definitely check that weekly newsletter for dates, but write these on your calendar. These are the ones we need. All right. Okay. Pictures. So for us to be able to send you pictures, we do have a picture form, and that will also be in your child's cubby on Meet the Teacher. So you're gonna actually have a lot of paperwork that day, so go ahead and take it and look through it. So you'll have that car form, you'll have the parking lot, how to drive in the parking lot, you'll have your important dates form. You will also have a picture form. This picture form lets us send you pictures in Brightwheel. So you can fill this out and just leave it right there. I'll have some pencils and pens. That way we can send you that very first day of school picture. If we don't have it, a lot of times we try to send the first day picture anyways, but after that I will not send you any pictures in Brightwheel if I do not have that form on file. Also on that form, it will say, like, if we go to the pumpkin patch and we take a picture of our whole school in front of the Russell Farm picture, the sign, is it okay for me to put that on Facebook? If it's not, then you say, nope, my child can't be, and then we will blur out your child's image on there. Or that's okay. They can go as a whole class or a whole group, but I don't want an individual picture of them. So you would say no individual pictures. Some parents don't care. We try to get like a side view or group view, so it's not just like one-on-one child, but sometimes they do a cute craft and we just want like everyone to see that. And so we need parents to sign off on which level of pictures is acceptable for your family. Just Brightwheel only, Brightwheel and Facebook on as long as they're in a group, or they can do Brightwheel, Facebook group, or Facebook individual. So think about that, and then if you want to go ahead and fill that out and just leave it in their cubby, that is totally fine. We'll grab it from them. Birthdays. We switched birthdays up this year. We felt like the birthdays really didn't get a lot of attention last year, and the kids really just didn't have a day that we just focused on them. So this year, everybody got what we call an All About Me Day. When it's their All About Me Day, they will have a little book, all about me, and it has all of their favorite things in it. So it's going to say their favorite color, their favorite food, their favorite book, their favorite toy. I'm going to send that home with you a few days, probably a couple weeks. I'm going to try to send that home for you so that you can fill that out, and then you can send it back either as soon as it's done. Let's say I send it home on like a Thursday. You have time to, do it over the weekend. You can send it right back, and I will hold it until they're All About Me Day. So they're going to do that. They're also going to get to be the line leader. They're going to get to be like our special helper of the day. Anytime we need something, we're going to call on them because it's their day. So they're going to get to do that. Now, let's say their birthday's during the school year and I'm putting it with their All About Me Day. Then they are also going to get, we will have like a birthday hat that they get to wear. They will get their birthday present from the teacher that day as well. And we'll sing happy birthday to them, all the birthday stuff. They will get to bring in a treat, no matter if it's their birthday or just their All About Me Day. They can send in whatever you want for snack. So let's say they want mini cupcakes. Great, send in mini cupcakes. We do ask that you send in the little cupcakes, not the big cupcakes with all the frosting. They don't eat them, they throw them away. So we ask that you send in a mini cupcake and then something to go with it, maybe a box of goldfish. So we can do the mini cupcake and then just sprinkle a couple goldfish for them to eat as well. Again, ask me if you're not sure. We will have special things for any child that has allergies. Their parents will probably send in those special things, but I will give you a final count before your sharing day. But no, with their All About Me Day is their sharing day. So they also can bring in a favorite book, no toys, but they can bring in a favorite book. And if you want, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, a special friend can come in and read the the book if you want. If not, please send it in and one of the teachers will read their favorite book. So we're hoping to make this more of a big deal and a special thing for them, so that they're more excited about their All About Me Day. All right, so you're like, well, my kid has a birthday in the summer. What are they going to get to do? So they will still have their All About Me Day. They will still get to bring in their treat. And you can kind of choose if you want to do like something, say, hey, I want to celebrate his birthday, then you could send in the mini cupcake or the donut or the ice cream cup, whatever you want. Like, you can pick that for their sharing. But if you don't want to and you just want to send in goldfish or animal crackers, that is fine too. At the end of the year, the Tuesday of the last week of school, I believe it's May 11 or 12. I don't have my calendar in front of me. We are going to celebrate all of the summer birthdays on that day. So they are all gonna get to wear their birthday crowns. They are all gonna get their birthday gifts from the teachers, and we're gonna do ice cream cups that day for snack. So you are welcome to bring in that treat on their All About Me Day, that sharing day, or you can say, hey, they're gonna get ice cream cups that Tuesday, that last week of school. So I'm just gonna do Pirate's Booty. You can pick whatever you want, and we can talk about that as it gets closer to your child's day. So I think they're going to like it. I hope so. All right. So drop off and pick up will happen at the main church doors. So when you come in, there's a big double doors. That is where drop off is going to happen. Like I said earlier in the meeting, I will open the doors at 8:55. You have till 9:10 to drop off. If you are past 9:10, then you are considered late. We give you 2 tardies per semester. That is not including like a doctor appointment, dentist appointment. Dad had a Zoom call before and couldn't get to work, couldn't drop off. This is just 2, oh my goodness, we overslept, we left late, Allison needed to sleep in, those kind of things. That's what those 2 tardies are for. After that, you will be charged a tardy fee, just because we're so excited. We want the kids to be there in the morning. We're excited to see them. All the kids are coming in at the same time. Once we all get there, that's when we're going to do the bulk of our introduction of our learning. So at 9:15, if we have a new letter that we're teaching that day, or a number, or I'm showing them, the globe, because we're talking about, land, water, and air, all of that's happening, starting right at 9:15. And if your child doesn't come in until 9:30, then they miss, over half of the learning time. So we either have to pull them and individually show them that lesson, or all of the other students, when they're walking in, they stop listening to me or whoever is teaching, and they're now watching their friend come in late. So please, please, please try to make drop off as a priority as you can, and be there between that 8:55 and 9:10. If you need to pick up early, that is not a problem. Just message us in Bright Wheel and say, hey, I'm going to be picking up 11:30, 2:50, not 2:50, that's our go home time, sorry, like 2:05, whatever it is, and we will make sure your child's packed up and ready to go. We'd rather have you pick up early than come a little bit late. So if that helps making doctor's appointments and dentist appointments. Now, we do understand that they do have to happen, and that's okay. Or if your child's sick, it is not a big deal. Like, we will make sure that they get those lessons. They're not, being left out of anything. But just for the oh my goodness, we, left home late or whatever, like that's kind of the more things I'm talking about, not appointments. Reminder again that there is no before care on the first day of school. I will have a sign up sheet out at Meet the Teacher, just so that you can sign up, or you can message us in Bright Wheel. I already have your name on there. If you need before care or after care the first week of school, that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So no before care on Wednesday, but there will be aftercare. So if you need aftercare that Wednesday, either message me in Bright Wheel, or write it on the paper that I have out at Meet the Teacher. If you need before or after care Thursday, like I said, email me. Friday, same thing, email me. So, or message in Bright Wheel, or write it on the sheet. Any of the above 3 are fine, just so that we can start making a list and making sure everybody is going where they need to be. We just want to make sure that if it's raining and we have to go and the kids are actually sitting and waiting, we don't want someone to have to sit down there for 15 minutes waiting for their mom or dad if mom or dad is still at work. We want them to be able to stay in the classroom. They get to pick, and they can do blocks or art or practical life or kind of whatever's out on the shelf. And so we want to give them the opportunity just to keep being active instead of having to go and sit and wait for mommy or daddy. All right, I think that's it. Oh, if you are late, you had an appointment and you were like, hey, I'm going to be late, please still come to those main doors, and there is a doorbell there, and ring the doorbell. So you just push the little button. You will not hear the doorbell. We hear the doorbell in the classroom, but ring that doorbell. If we don't come down after a few minutes, you're like, wait, hey, what's going on? Message in Brightwheel and a teacher will run down. You can even message us in Brightwheel and say, hey, I'm going to be there in 5 minutes and we'll be watching for you. But sometimes because people can't hear the doorbell, not usually our parents, like it's just people, usually want something for the church or they want to come into the building for some reason, they will ring that doorbell and they just keep pushing and pushing it, and we can hear it in the classroom, but because they can't hear it, they don't think it's ringing. So definitely message us in Brightwheel, let us know when you're coming, and we will be watching for you. But just ring that doorbell and we will come down and get you as soon as we can. Let's see. Up next, I already kind of talked about it a little bit, but lunch boxes. If your child stays all day for lunch, you will pack their lunch. You will have a name tag at Meet the Teacher. It will, on the back of it, list any allergies that you have or food sensitivities that you can't eat, your child can't eat. And so we will have that listed on there. We also have a list of allergies and food sensitivities that we have in the lunchroom to make sure that no one is eating anything that they're not supposed to be eating. So check the back of that name tag. If you see something that's not correct, please let us know so we can fix it on their name tag and also on the sheet in the lunchroom. Lunch boxes, again, will go in the fridge unless you let me know otherwise. The refrigerator is cold. You don't need to add an ice pack to it. A lot of times people will put those Uncrustables in there and they add an ice pack, and then by the time we get to lunch, they're still like half frozen. So we do try to take the lunches out about 20 minutes before we eat, just so things cannot be as cold. Sometimes the kids are like, this is too cold for me to eat. So we try to take it out about 20 minutes before, just to give it a chance to not be as cold. But again, like I said, if you have an ice pack in there and it's in the refrigerator, sometimes those things that are supposed to thaw are not thawing all the way. So just be conscious of that. Tuition is through Brightwheel, so everybody should be signed up for Brightwheel and already paid their deposit, so that we're on the right track there. So thank you very much for that. But if you want to sign up for auto pay, then that just means that once we send you that invoice, it usually comes like 3 days before the 1st. And then that's your reminder, hey, on the 1st, it's coming out. If you don't want to do auto pay, then you need to just make sure when you get that invoice that you go ahead and you pay it. Also, I wanted to remind families, if you are using a credit card, you have to pay the service fee for the credit card. If you can link it to your bank account, I'm not sure, someone did ask about a debit card, and I will get back to you on that. So if you're wanting to check on the debit card, email me, and Miss Lindsay, who does most of my Brightwheel stuff, she's our assistant director, she will get back to you. I can't remember off the top of my head who had asked about the debit card, but I know if you link it to your bank account, that the fee is so low that the church just covers that. And last year I had a family who paid it, and they were kind of shocked that it was like an extra, I think it's like $20 or something every month. So it definitely adds up. So just be aware of that. All right, the next one, the not so fun one, I want to talk about safety. So every month we will do a fire drill. It is required by the state that we do one every month. So we're going to start small and slowly add everybody in. So we will probably start with our Friday kiddos, then we will add our Monday kiddos in, and then maybe like our Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday afternoon, and then the last would be like everybody when they're there. One, it helps like the more students that know how to do it. It's easier when we have just those three morning friends with us. It helps them kind of buddy up with someone who kind of knows what they're doing, and it's not as scary for them. But we do talk about it. We will practice it. We don't use a real fire alarm because it is very loud in the church, but I just have one on my phone, and so I will set that off. We line up and we go stand over. You can see the yellow box in the dumpster. We stand over by those. So that gives the fire department access in without us being in the way. If the fire alarm goes off and we can't go back into the building, it's not cleared, we will be calling you to come and get your kiddos. But hopefully that's never happened during school. So hopefully it won't happen this year. We're praying for that. Next is bad weather. So for bad weather, we have all the students line up and we go down to the main men's bathroom. All of the students and the staff fit in there. We will go in there if the alarm goes off on our phones and we can hear the sirens for the city. We will go down there and we will stay in there until we are given the all clear. So we usually take like books, we can take music for our phones. If the lights go off, I usually will have flashlights and lights. We all have phones on, lights on our phones. So we will have light in there so they won't be in the dark, but we do practice like turning the lights off and then all having our phones lights on so that way the kids know. Usually we don't do that until the spring unless we're starting to have some, bad weather in the fall. But usually that's a spring drill. I try to let you know ahead of time. We talk about it with the kids. We walk down there, we talk about it, we come back, we walk down again. So they're usually pretty comfortable by the time we're having to do that. But I know a few of them, you guys have written that your child is scared of the dark. So I think by the spring we're usually okay. We've never had anyone cry or get upset during that drill. But I did want to let you know about that. Intruder. So we do have a plan for an intruder. I meet with the police department usually every other year, and it hasn't changed over the last 3 times that I've met with them what our plan would be. But I just feel like these kids are too young to be running these drills. The staff know what to do, and because the students are listening to us, they're used to it. I think they would follow us along and kind of do what we are asking them to do, especially if we have our serious teacher voices on and we're not just joking around. They're pretty good about listening and following our directions. So I think they would follow us and do what we're asking them to do. If you want to know specifically what our plan is, you can email me or we can meet individually. I don't have a problem sharing it. Mostly we're just trying to get out of the building as quick as we can. How that happens is where the intruder is. All of our doors are locked. We have alarms on all of the doors, so I do know when the doors are open. Because I'm in the classroom 1, that bigger classroom, we can usually see who's pulling in and out of the parking lot. We can see if someone's walking around. We're very attuned to what's happening in the parking lot. We have called the police before if someone's just sitting out there in their car while the kids are at school. We take your child's safety very seriously. So please know that while they're in their care, we are making sure that they're safe. I do always tell the children, like, yes, I am your teacher and I love you and I care for you, but my number one job before even teaching you to learn is to keep you safe. And what you might do at home with mom and dad, because there's 1, 2, or 3, of kiddos in your family, is different than what we can do at school because we have so many friends. So my number one job is to always keep you safe. And then that's where those rules come back in. Never leave the room without talking to a teacher. Quiet voice, kind hands, walking feet. So that's our first job, is to keep your child safe while they're with us. All right. Moving on from that one, hopefully, again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Next, if you're at school, your child is expected to listen and follow the directions. If we are asking them to do a work a certain way or to clean up their work, we expect them to do that. This is our classroom home, and we want them to love and care for it just as much as we do. A lot of these works we've had since we've opened, and some of them were donated to me by my mentor teacher who used them for lots of years, 20 plus years. And so a lot of children have used these works, and a lot of children behind us will use these works. And so we want to take care of them and treat them nicely. And so we want to find where it lives. We want to do the work how it's shown shown to us to do it, and then we want to put that work back where it goes. And your child can do those things. They can do a lot of things by themselves. And so I want to encourage you at home to start working with your child and asking them to do a one-step direction. Maybe that might just be something easy like, tonight for dinner, I'm going to have you help, and you're going to get to put all of the plates on the table, and then hand them the plates and see, can they put all of the plates on the table without you walking with them, without you telling them, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times to be able to do it. See if they can do it independently on their own. Okay, maybe that takes 2 or 3 weeks for that to be able to happen. That's awesome. That's okay. They're 3, 4, and 5. It might take a little while, but once they can do it on their own, make sure you're just praising. Great job, great job. Okay, now they can do that plate by themselves. Now add a second step direction. I want you to put the plates and a napkin at each place. Don't say anything else. You showed them where the plates are, how to get those. Now you might have to show them where the napkins are, but can they do those 2 things before coming back to you and asking you, wait, I need help. What did you tell me to do? What was my next thing after the plates? So you're working on those 2-step directions. Let's say it's not dinner time. Okay, we're getting ready to take a bath tonight. I want you to brush your teeth and put your pajamas on. Can they do those 2 things in order without one, you either helping them or to coming back forgetting like what that second step was. Now I understand they're little, you're going to help them brush their teeth. It was just kind of an example there to use. But those are the things that would be helpful, and that they are growing and they are learning independence. About halfway through the year, once we start doing coats, I will send a note home about, can they put the coat on themselves? That's definitely something. If you can help us and we're not putting on 50 coats and having to zip them, we can get outside much faster. So work with them on it at home, whether they have to put their hands in it and then flip it up over their head and then zip. We will be working on those skills at school, but if you can help us at home, again, that would be great. All right, we're moving through. Thanks for sticking with me. I told you it was going to be a long one. I'm so sorry. Also with that, we are going to be working on character development. So we always talk about things like being honest, doing things in like a certain order, being attentive. What does being attentive mean? That's a great big word. So we're going to talk about character. We want them to have good character, not just grow academically as well. So that is in there. All right, totally different direction here. So on Tuesdays after Labor Day, we will have dance classes with Miss Kay. She's the owner of Meraki Dance Company. She will come. Usually she has Miss Catherine with her. They do dance from usually 2:50 to 3:20. And then I give you that like 3:25, 3:30 to pick up your child. If they're there after 3:30, they will go down to aftercare and you'll get an aftercare fee. But that 250 to 3:20 is usually the class. So that way, as soon as school's over, they can walk right in, they can start the class. She always does a trial. That first Tuesday after Labor Day will be the trial class. And then after that, it was, the lessons will start. So it's 8 weeks and it's $80. I will send home a paper. One, it will say, I want to do the trial class. I do not want to do the trial class. So yes or no, it's free. So if you want to pick up late, that's great. They can try it, no obligation. Then that day, everyone who stays will get the next form that says, yes, I do want to take dance. And then you just send that in. She usually does cash, check, or Venmo, I believe, for Miss K for dance. Last year we did karate. I need to get with the karate. This is their busy time of year with a lot of national tournaments, so I have not talked to them. But if they do karate, it's 2 sessions, one in the fall and one in the spring. I think the paper that is in the welcome packet says it's $100 for 6 sessions. And I believe last year she upped that and it was like $110 for 6 sessions. Again, you get to come to that last session, but they're a little bit shorter for the karate. It's a great program if you want to do it. Last year, the kids loved it. I think we had, for dance, usually we have around 17, and we had 17 for karate too. So it was a big hit. All right. Moving on, I'm getting close to the end here. So again, thanks for hanging in with me. Contacting the school phone is on from 8 to 4. So if you need to call, you are welcome to call. I may not always answer the phone. If I'm in the middle of teaching, or if we're having, a bathroom accident, or someone's needing help getting something cleaned up, or, someone got sick, I might not always be able to answer the phone. So if you need to get a hold of us, I always encourage you messaging through Brightwheel. Like, I need to pick up early. Grandma Susie's going to pick up today. All of that can come through Brightwheel, and that goes to all of the teachers. And so even if I'm helping someone in the bathroom, Miss Kelly or Miss Lindsay might get that. We'll get that message, and then we'll make sure that we have your child ready to go, or we know that, grandma's picking up that day. If you want to say, oh my goodness, like they woke up and they were just cranky today, I'm just letting you know, just be ready. That's all great things. You can also tell me in the morning when you're dropping off. I like make little notes, and then I either let Miss Lindsay or Miss Kelly know, like, hey, so-and-so's a little sleepy, they're grumpy, and, we're just gonna give them a little extra love this morning before we kind of get going about our day. Sometimes they just need a hug from us. Some of it, by the time they get down there and they see their friends, they were grumpy with you, but they're not grumpy with us. So it just kind of depends. But if you want to let us know that information, that is very helpful to us. And at the end of the day, we will also, usually we're just like, had a great day, see you tomorrow. But if there's any issues, like, we will let you know. Also, if they fall and they get hurt, we will send you a report in Brightwheel. If it is something where it's like a bump or a bruise, I usually try to take a picture of that and also send it in Brightwheel so that you can see it and make a decision if you feel like something besides an ice pack and a Band-Aid needs to be done. You're like, oh, I want to take them to the doctor, or I want them to come home so I can watch them. Totally fine, but we just send all of that through Brightwheel, so make sure your notifications are on. Again, if you want to call the school, you can. Just know I might not answer, and just leave me a voicemail. We use it. Our phone number is an app, so when you leave a voicemail, it actually transcribes it and sends it to me in an email, and I usually read that first. So if it's something of an emergency, then I can see that and I can call you back at my first opportunity. If it's something where you're like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that, in 2 weeks we're going to be gone on vacation, then I'm probably not going to call you back right away. I'll just touch base with you at pickup or drop off the next day. All right. All right, so while the students are there, this kind of goes with what we were talking about, but while the students are there, the teachers, we do try to give the kids 100% of our attention. We want them to be successful. We want to be able to sit next to them and read a book or do a work with them. And we're trying to make sure that everybody is getting 1 or 2, times with a teacher every day. And so we're trying to give them that time. That's one of the reasons why I ask you to be on time, so they are getting that, time with us if it happens in the morning. But also, we want to be respectful of all of the kids' time as well as you. So if you guys are dropping off, if the majority of people are dropping off, we're going to go ahead and start school. We're not waiting for the families that are running late. We're going to go ahead and start. Also, at the end of the day, then we're trying to get down there at that 2:50 time as right on time, so that if those families that have to pick up at 2:50 so they can get home and, get somebody off the bus, or they've got to get to the school and pick somebody up, that we're down there and we're ready for you to pick up right then. But I also then, on the other side of it, ask you to be respectful of our time as well. Pickup is at that, 2:50 to 3:10. Please try to be there. I know some of you have to get a kiddo off the bus and then race to us. that's a little bit different than like, oh my goodness, I went to the grocery store and there were 4 people in front of me in line, you know? So just try to be there. If it's after that 3:10, they will go down to aftercare. So that's okay. We're here till 4. So if they're in aftercare, you will just get charged the aftercare fee. So no worries at all. If it's that 12 to 12:30, please try to be on time at that. Get them right at 12:30 because we're lining up all the other students to go inside, go to the bathroom and wash hands so that they can eat lunch. So even if you can be there at 12:28, 12:29, that would be great because right at 12:30, we're going to line the other kiddos up and start heading to lunch. And then at 4 o'clock, if you stayed for aftercare, just know that at 4 o'clock is the pickup time. They need to be picked up by 4. If you have to pick up after 4 o'clock, then you are charged $2 for every minute that you are late to pick up. So just do your best and try to get there right at 4. Otherwise, you will have that late fee, and you don't want that. At Meet the Teacher, sorry, I should have covered this way ahead of time. But at Meet the Teacher, like I said, you're going to have a lot of things in their cubby that you can take with you. One thing in there is going to be name tags. You're going to have 3 of those like sticky name tags that you put on their shirt. And then at the end of the day, you just peel it off. It's like a sticker. Please put that on your child. Talk to them about leaving it on there. If they are the type that like to rip it off, then stick it on their back. That is going to have usually some of the stickers with their name are going to either have a dot, something on it so that we know they're in classroom 2, or might have a 2 and a 1, just so that we make sure like when we're quickly grabbing kiddos those first few days as we're learning faces and names, that they're in the correct classroom for when we do our counts. And then that they're going home the right way. So the first 3 days that they're at school. So if your child is 5 full days, they're gonna wear that name tag on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If your child is 4 full days, they're gonna wear that name tag Wednesday, Thursday, and then the next Monday. If your child is just the 3 days, they're gonna wear it Wednesday, Thursday, and then the next Tuesday. Usually by that 3rd day we've had them, we know their names. So by that Friday, we're like, okay, we got the 5 full day kids, then we add the Monday kiddos in, and then the 3 days. So it works really well for us. So if you could help us with that, that would be awesome. We appreciate it. Children must wear shoes at school. So if your child is someone who does not like to wear shoes, please work with them on this and just tell them like, hey, when you're at school, they have to wear shoes. This is a state rule. This isn't just something we do. If we need to get out of the building quickly, we can't be finding shoes. So last year we didn't have an issue with it, but a few years ahead we have. So just know if your child has an issue with this, please have them practice with them wearing their shoes. If your child is sick, please, please, please keep them home. If they get up and they throw up at 2 a.m. and at 8 a.m. they're acting fine and you want to send them to school, please do not send them to school. They need to be symptom-free with no medication for 24 hours before you send them back to school. That if they had a fever, if they've thrown up, if they have diarrhea, if they have any type of a rash, pink eye, some gunk is coming out their eyes. Now, one time I feel bad. I did have a mom come and take hers and it was like an allergy. So if it's something like that, just let me know. But 9 times out of 10, I'm usually going to have you come get them up. If it's contagious and it can spread around the school, we will have you go come and get them and go home for the day. If they throw up at school, you have to come and get them. They will miss the remainder of that day and the whole next day. So as we hate for you to have to miss, we don't want your kiddos to have to miss. So if they're sick, just keep them home that initial time. Hopefully they get over it quickly and they can come back to school. One, we don't want it to pass through the school and make other kiddos and families have to deal with it. And most importantly, we don't want the teachers to get sick. We want to make sure we are all at school so that we do not have to cancel school and, have people miss. I do have a couple of subs, but not very many, not enough to, cover all of us. So please help us we're going to help you try to keep your child healthy. If your child's never been in any type of a school setting before, they didn't have to go to daycare before they started school, know that they're probably going to be a little sick to begin with. They're not used to all these germs. Their little body is like, what is going on? What did you do to me? So even though we are doing all of the cleaning daily, they might get some colds. Now, just the common cold is fine. If it starts that snot, starts getting really green and thick and they can't breathe, it might be just worth a day to rest at home. If you're unsure, email me, message me in Brightwheel, and I'll let you know. All right. So in your cubby on the Meet the Teacher is going to be a family handbook. Please read through that. That will have our discipline policy in it. I've talked to most parents. Normally we just use like timeout. Again, I don't call it a timeout with the kids. I'll just say, hey, you're going to sit over here. You're going to take some breaths. Like, just calm down. Once you're calm, then you can join back in with everybody else. And usually it doesn't take too long. I do have stuff for a calming corner. I haven't needed it in like 2.5 years, so it's all put away, but I can pull it back out and we can try that. But per the state, all the parents do have to sign the discipline policy, so that will be in your book, in your cubby, for you just to sign and send that back. I have only had to hand this policy, like a whole full-on policy, out 3 times in the whole time that we've been open. So it's not something that we go through very often, and we are going to work through and work with you. Most of the parents, once they see it, they're like, okay, we've done sticker charts in the past. We've just like let you know at the end of the day, so you can do sticker charts. We will work with you as much as we can to make sure that this time is successful for your child. We want them to want to come to school. We want them to love to come to school. We love them. We want them to love us. And again, like I said earlier, what you might do at home with 2 or 3 children is different than what we can do at school with 50. So they get into the routine pretty quick, but the discipline policy will be in their cubby. You do need to sign that and send that back as well. All right, I already talked about before and after care. Again, if they're going to be in before and after care that first week of school, you could put that with the doctor, like say, hey, my child's doctor is, whoever, this is their phone number, and they're going to be in before care Thursday, Friday that week. They're going to be in after care, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever. You can add that all in the same email, and I'm making notes of that. I think we have everybody who's interested in the Bible lesson. If you are wanting to do the Bible lesson and you have not already communicated that to us, please do so, and we'll make sure to add them to the list. And then the last thing I'm going to say is we're going to try to be a little bit more active on our Facebook and Instagram page this year. Miss Kelsey has taken that over for us, so I think it's going to be great because she's in the classroom. She's with us every day. She knows what the kids are doing. And so we've started with some staff profiles. So we're just up there kind of telling you a little bit about us. So check us out there on Facebook or Instagram. You can search the Preschool at CCC and find us. It's our little logo. I know my spotlight is up, and Miss Lindsay is already up there as well. Starting in August, we're going to try to get some families. I already have our first family, and we're excited to share that with you guys. So we'll also add on, usually we do like our group field trip to the pumpkin patch, or if Silly Safari comes out, we add, just easy pictures like that to it. But I'm excited for Miss Kelsey to have taken it on this year, so I think you're gonna like it and enjoy it. So please go on and follow us, and we'll keep you updated on everything. So if you have any questions, I know that was a ton of information, but if you have any questions, please email me before school starts. You can call me and we can touch base. The phone number for the school is 317-620-6602. Please add that to your phone number, so your contacts in your phone. So if we do try to call someone sick or hurt, to answer it. It does come up because it's an app. It doesn't just show Fishers, Indiana. I think it says like Sheridan or something. So if you add the phone number, then it will show Preschool at CCC's calling, and you can answer that and know it's us. All right. I'm excited for a fun year. We have so many fun things planned for the students. We've changed some stuff up. We've added some fun things. So we're looking forward to seeing them, and I hope they're looking forward to seeing us. I do hope to do like a little night before preschool book. That is my goal, and to get that on maybe the Facebook page. Miss Kelsey will add that for us, and so the night before school, you can go on and listen to that. We'll probably have it up a couple of days before. That way, if they want to watch it once or twice, they can do that. And I'll do that inside the classroom instead of my husband's office, so that they'll see the classroom and be like, oh, I'm going to be in there tomorrow. And Miss Denise will be reading me a story. So hopefully they're excited about that. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you guys soon. Bye.